Welcome to another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am your host, founder, and executive director of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you can give us a big thumbs up and subscribe, that would be awesome. Help us reach our goal of helping 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. As we start this episode, as well as episodes going forward, and even that we've already recorded, just know that Voices for Voices, we are sharing information. We are not condemning, judging others. So the information that we have is real in our facts. We don't we're not going to be bringing any allegations or harassment. There are just facts, and that's what we're really trying to help with, is to just make awareness. And this episode, just like all others, is going to do just that. And we'll definitely touch on mental health and trauma because it ties into everything we do day in and day out. So we're going to start this episode by introducing past guest, David Solomon, Amanda Solomon, his wife. And so he's going to start us off with a prayer, and then we're going to continue on with our episode. Take it away, David.
Thank you. So I wanted to just say that it's been an honor to be a voice for those that have their voice taken away, and I've had a lot of feedback, both positive and negative, from coming forward and coming out with information. And I'm going to lead us in prayer because there is a lot to go over and a lot of questions to answer and a lot of concerns to talk about and address. So here we go. Dear Lord, we thank you for being together. We thank you for this time to just listen, have our eyes open and our ears ready to hear, and let your will be done in this episode today, and let the truth be known, and help those who are caught in a hard place or a hard time, and give them the strength to use their voice. Thank you for letting me be here, Lord. Thank you for Justin, Lord, and in your name, amen.
Amen. Yeah, so I think we can get started. As we continue, we're not trying to tear down realm makers and realm. We're looking to help. We're helping to lift up everybody that is a part of that. And David would like to, I think, jump into some of the timeline events and things that we think might be valuable or pertinent to our viewers and our listeners, both here in the United States, Northeast Ohio, and across the world, 50 countries, 550 cities.
And today I wanted to address a few things. There's going to be a lot of questions, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of messages, and that's kind of what this is about in addressing things. My name is David Solomon. A lot of people know that I'm a ghostwriter. Not only on Sound of Freedom, but on other TV shows, other movies, and other books. I wanted to go over some concerns because as a survivor comes out, survivors get mocked and discredited. And it has come to my understanding that one of the heads of realm makers has come to discredit me, and I want to put that to rest and show I have nothing to hide. And the following information is information he does not want anyone to know about. This information that I'm about to share has permission to be shared by individuals who have been hurt by realm. So, Justin, is it good to start?
Yeah, good to go.
Okay. One of the first concerns is to dive deep into who I am and what people are saying about me and my experience as a writer and how I got tied into realm and trafficking and Christian fantasy and how I got to where I am. So we're going to start there. I was a boy. I was 4 years old. My mom had divorced my dad because he had come back from a war. At the time, I thought it was Vietnam, but I was a boy, and my mom didn't really address what war. It has now come out that he not only served in Vietnam, the Korean War, and other special ops. It is believed that he was demonically possessed when he came back, and he set fire to our home with us in it when we were asleep, and our house did actually explode. According to medical records, me and my mom did die, as stated, and prayer did bring us back, as a Focus on the Family article, which I would like to direct people to, has stated. And it was a miracle. And that was the moment that I saw who God was. Not only me and my mom, but others saw angels that day. And God told me and my mom when I was 4 years old that he had a purpose and a plan, and it would unite the world. And I had no idea what that meant. About 9 years old, I knew that I wanted to write for God, and I met some actors from Veggie Tales, and I fell in love with the idea of creating content for kids to come closer to God. At the age of 14, I had already been ghostwriting as a minor for Warner Brothers and other people in the industry. I was a nobody, and a man named Bryan Davis and 6 other authors, we'll name a few, came to my little town in Medford, Oregon, and I got the honor and privilege of shaking their hand, along with countless other kids that they recruited for their talents. And that was how this whole journey started. Bryan saw that I had talent, and he wanted it. I wasn't the only minor kid that he shook hands and private messaged for years. I wasn't the only kid who he wanted to take under his wing. In fact, there were 8 others that day alone who he took after meeting them and formed relationships and bonds. To this day, one of them still writes for him. And I will never forget meeting Bryan. I knew that he was not a good man. And I don't know how I knew that, but I just knew that I had met the devil himself. And he didn't like my mom, and I was raised by my mom. I was homeschooled. I did graduate when I was 14 years old, and I did graduate college at 16. I did do those things. And Bryan took more interest over the years, private messaging me, and a majority of kids who were homeschooled that day that still keep in contact with each other. Would you believe it, after all these years?
Wow.
And so our relationship grew over the years. I met, as I mentioned, Wayne Thomas Batson, Chris Hopper, Eric Reinhold. The others that were there are innocent in this, so I'm not going to name them, because I do believe that they deserve their careers, and they have separated themselves, and I do not believe that they have anything to do with this. And I applaud them sincerely. So that was how I became a writer, and I wanted to strive for God. And I one day we left Medford for a new life, and we started over in Oregon City because of some events. And my mom found out after she was on the worship team that she had non-Hodgkin's stage 4 cancer. And the church did indeed turn on her because they did not believe in sickness. And I was heartbroken. And I had no one to turn to. And Bryan Davis knew that. And he had two individuals, James Artville and Shiloh Artville, at the time, now Shiloh Clover, reach out to me and pray with me on Messenger. And indeed, they did want to come and pray for my mom, which is it. And my mom was okay with that, but not right away. So on January the 12th, 2012, at about 3:30 p.m., James Artville showed up on my doorstep. And I did indeed become a survivor, not a victim, of human trafficking. I can't express the regret of what happened in those 2.5 weeks. And a lot of listeners are going to learn what happened in those 2.5 weeks, because James has told different stories, and Bryan has told different stories. And the thing is, the truth is going to come out, what happened. And that breaks my heart, how many people were unfortunately hurt or harmed. And I get to live with that reality every day. I can say that it changed me when I got away. And I prayed to God for him to open the door so I could get away and see my mom again and say goodbye. And the night that I did go away and get away, my mom was healed of that cancer that was terminal. It never appeared again. And that was a miracle. And that part is also true. That is something that Scott Miner has torn apart, and that is something others have torn apart. And I wanted to address that for the whole world. My mom was treated in Tualatin, Oregon, and there is medical record of her cancer and it going away. And it is proof that miracles do happen. Something that needs to be addressed now, more than ever, is the next topic that Bryan has brought and messaged a lot of people now, that I am a boy named Cody. And I really wanted to address this appropriately. When I was taking my captors, Shiloh and James, Quinn Rose, Sarah Rose, Kayleen Rose at the time, and Craig Rose, along with others, called me Cody. I could not pee, I could not use the bathroom, I could not eat without them calling me Cody. And if I did not listen and respond to the name Cody, I would be beaten and I would be starved. I was put in a room that was horrific with snakes and geckos and lizards and spiders. And if you disobeyed and you were in that cage and you didn't say, yes, I'm Cody, things would happen. And so the whole idea of Cody came from that moment. I don't know what Cody this was. I have an idea. I have reached out over the years to try and find those origins. So has my mom. And we've come to the conclusion that Cody may have been unalived by Shiloh and James, or he is alive today. His name is Cody Wallace Bast, and that is B-A-S-T. You can look him up online as a missing person to this day. And that will come up as Bremerton, Washington. And we are indeed the same age. We almost have the same birthday. There are some unique facial features that look alike, but then there are some that are not. I cannot speak for Cody, but I can say a prayer that I pray he is safe. I did speak with the Bremerton Police Department, and it has been confirmed so far. They do believe that he is alive somewhere out there. It cannot be confirmed if he is or not. I wanted to address Cody's mother, who Bryan, Scott Miner, James Artville, and others have said is my mom. It is not my mom. My mom's name was Safira Osera Soldier, and her birth name was Brenda Shireen Haune, Haune. And I wanted to address that she only had one child, which was me. I was a miracle because she wasn't supposed to have children. And her birth name was Hall. And it broke her heart when Bryan said some of these things that were just harmful and flat right abusive, shall we say. And over the years, Shiloh contacted, in fact, Justin, I think you have some of that. Shiloh contacted one of my dear friends to find out where I was, because my mom did indeed threaten Shiloh and James, saying, don't ever contact us again. You took my son. And she did go to the police department and report my human trafficking on the date that I went missing, which was January the 12th, 2012. And we do have that report, and we'll be sharing that evidence for everyone to see. We have nothing to hide. And that's what I wanted to make clear right now. Scott Miner has done things in the shadows, and I don't ever want to be accused of doing things in the shadows, and nor should anyone, for that matter. If you have something to say, don't hide it. Justin?
Yeah, can I jump in to?
Absolutely.
So yeah, we do have the police report that you gave to Oregon Police, case number 18-022200. The offense of kidnapping, and has your name, Solomon O. David Soldier, and the involvement, few of those people you just mentioned, James Artville, Shilohville, which we have independently confirmed through government means that they are connected by property, purchasing, etc. So the last name may change with Shiloh, as David mentioned, but we do have that. And I'm just going to read off real quick, if I can here, what the report, I'm trying to show as much as I can here, because there's just so much, unfortunately. It says, Mr. Soldier reported in January of 2012 he was kidnapped from his Oregon City apartment and driven to Des Moines, Washington, where he was held for 2 weeks in a cage, and trigger warning, he was raped. Mr. Soldier reported back in 2012 his mother was suffering from cancer, so some acquaintances from his church, Stone Creek Christian Church, Jamie in Shilohville, offered to spend the afternoon with him. Mr. Soldier reported he was picked up by the Ville's white van and driven to Des Moines, Washington. Mr. Soldier reported he did try to escape the van before leaving Oregon City, but it was unsuccessful. He reported once in Des Moines, where he was held for 2 weeks in a cage in the home of a subject named Quinn Rose. Mr. Soldier reported one night after being, trigger warning, raped by Mr. Rose. The gate to the cage was left unlocked. Mr. Soldier reported Mr. Rose went into the bathroom to clean up, and he was able to escape the cage. Mr. Soldier reported that he stole $400, which we don't condone stealing, but considering these circumstances, it just provides a little bit of context. $400 from Mr. Rose on his way out of the house, and flagged down a passing subject who took him to the Greyhound station. Mr. Soldier reported he took the Greyhound bus back to Portland, and so we have a copy of the actual bus ticket here, as well as the email that was used to purchase it. Quinn, Quinn, .rose, R-O-S-E, @hotmail.com. And again, here's a picture of that particular evidence. And as far as name change, I think we should throw that out as well while we're on that topic. We do have the Oregon Judicial Department actual name change request, which was not made by David, our guest. His, like you said, his birth name, Nathaniel Isaac Hune, and there was a comment listed, name change of adult from Nathaniel Isaac Hune to Solomon O. David Soldier, court action, in the date that actually occurred. And so the name change was something that David, he did not approve of that, as well as Social Security number that has been modify, change, and things that I'm just learning, and you may know, maybe not, our viewers or listeners, that there are a lot of things, if you don't have a social security number or one that matches up to you, that you can't do. And so, for instance, David's unable to purchase a house. He has difficulty banking because, again, social security number is something that is needed. And so that actually, so you say, how's Bryan Davis, how's that he come into that? Well, David will get into here where he was able to match through a government report that the phone number that was used to change that is actually Bryan Davis. So if you just want to touch on that for maybe a minute, we're getting close. Yeah.
So Bryan Davis's cell phone number, has been linked not only to the Social Security change, but also to my wife's bank account, where about 6 months ago, her bank account was changed to that number, and then some things were purchased that were very inappropriate, if I might add. And we got the notification and had to go to the bank and make a report, and indeed confirmed that it did come up Bryan Davis's cell phone.
Wow.
Same cell phone that is tied to that Social Security report. And it just boggles my mind how Mr. Davis can sit here and say, I don't know a lot about David, when indeed, right before I was taken, if I might add,
yes,
Bryan Davis sat down with Tim Long, apparently for 4 hours of his day, and talked about me for 4 hours with my pastor at the time, behind my back.
Wow.
And that was leading up to when I was taken. And it just shows you, even after that, Bryan went out of his way to contact any church youth pastor or college leader or mentor. He would go out of his way to contact them and find out where I was. And I wanted to address...
We have a minute left.
Okay. I wanted to address one other thing. Emily Hancock is going to come up in all this. Emily Hancock is someone that I worked with in the writing world, and Bryan Davis destroyed that relationship. You can look into the origins of this as I talk about it on different platforms in the past. And you can also look on Bryan Davis's website. Not only is she listed, but you can also look me up, Solomon O. Stone, as apparently someone that reviewed not only his book, but his co-author, Brock Eastman.
Okay, we're gonna have to cut in at this point for this episode. So yeah, a lot of information. You saw me shuffling around with a lot of papers to again bring what's out there from a fact-based standpoint. Lastly, I want to definitely touch on, so Scott Miner has accused David of just lying outright, and he actually wrote that he called and waited on hold for 45 minutes to the National Human Trafficking confirmation to that hotline, and he said there's nobody under case number 013-6454-1, and that is false. I have independently confirmed that is in fact true, and that case does exist. So that's a lie from Mr. Scott Miner. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to just close real quick with a prayer. So God, please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. We'll see you next time.